Hello, everyone. I'm Frances O'Brien, and welcome to Emotional Freedom Technique. I'm a certified hypnotherapist and I'm a certified emotional freedom technique therapist, and I'm here today to guide you through a quick instructional video. EFT works on the same principles as acupuncture, but you don't have to hire an expensive traditional Chinese medicine doctor, or you don't have to, use needles. If you don't like needles, you use the tips of your fingers, and it's it's an all natural process. It's very easy to learn. It works miracles. It can be used for pain, injury, illness, uh, financial issues, sleep issues, love issues. It can even work on things outside of yourself or that seem to be outside of yourself. For example, if somebody you love is having a health issue or something like that, and you want to tap as a surrogate for them, you can do that and it will help. So, and even difficult relationships, you can make difficult relationships go away or end, no longer be difficult. And the way that it works is you write down what it is that you are having an issue with that you do not want in your life, or perhaps you only want to attract something into your life. Write it all down. And that's because later on you're going to have to use this material. And it's much easier to look at something and read it than to try and come up with the phrases on the fly. The next thing you do is you write a specific version of the setup statement, which is, even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. So let's say you have a pain in your shoulder because your son left a door open that you walked into and you've told him a million times to close the door, and he keeps refusing to close the door. And now you're in pain and you're angry at your son. And you're just say you would, and then the next thing you do is you choose a number from 1 to 10 to represent how distressed you are about this problem. It might be a 10 if this just happened and you're in a lot of pain and you're very, very angry at your son. Maybe it's a 10, whatever the number is, be honest with yourself. Choose the number. If you are not feeling it as strongly today as you were when it happened maybe a few days ago, try to remember how it felt when you first had the experience and use that number. Because the higher you start with, the more progress you will make. And then you use the setup statement, even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely love, accept myself. You'll need 3 setup statements. You can either use one 3 times, or you can write 3 different aspects of the problem. So even though my left shoulder is in a lot of pain because I walked into that door, I've told my son a million times to close, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I'm seething with anger at my son for leaving the door open again, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I don't know when I'll ever be able to use my left shoulder again because it's in so much pain, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. And when you're saying the 3 setup statements, you're tapping on the outside meaty part of your hand where you would make contact with a surface if you did a karate chop. This is the part you tap while you say the setup statements. Even though I'm just so angry at my son, I could just burst into flames. I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I want to wallop him, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though I'm in terrible pain and he doesn't even care, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. And then you say reminder statements on what we call the reminder endpoints. You tap at the beginning of either one of your eyebrows. You can do it on the left side or the right side or both sides. The bone outside of your eye, the bone underneath your eye, approximate below if you were looking straight ahead, below where your pupils would be, under your nose in the divot that runs from your nose to your top lip so that you feel it in your upper gum, and then under your bottom lip so that you feel it in your lower gum. And then you go to your clavicle knobs and you go down about an inch and out about an inch and you tap there. If you rub in that area, it might feel a little bit tender. And then the next point is under your arm, like a hand's width below your armpit or where your bra strap would be, and then the top of your head. And for the top of your head, you can use the palm of your hand instead of the tips of your fingers, or you can use the tips of your fingers, whatever you prefer. And while you're tapping the reminder statements, you're saying things like, I can't believe he left that door open again. And how did I walk into it? I mean, just because the room was dark, I should have known that he'd have left it open again. And now I'm in terrible pain and I'm so furious at my son. I cannot believe he did it again. And he doesn't even care that I'm in this kind of pain. It makes me miserable. And you keep tapping with reminder statements like that until you feel better, until you feel less angry, you feel less pain, and you feel better. And each one round means 3 times with the setup statement and several rounds, usually 5 or 6 rounds of the reminder statements. When you feel better, you stop tapping for a moment, you take a nice deep breath, and then you reassess the number from 1 to 10. That number from 1 to 10 is called the subjective units of distress number, or the SUDS number. And you write down the number, and it should be lower. If it is not lower, that just means tap longer. If it is lower, then you can do another round like that using the new number. And if you tap long enough and you have enough faith and you really are consistent, you can get that pain down to 0, and you can get your anger at your son down to 0. You can even tap on your son closing the door from now on, so that you don't accidentally walk into it in the dark any longer. But, and eventually it'll seem like miracles have been happening, because EFT is that good. And of course, when we work together one-on-one or in a group session, the video will be longer, but this video is only supposed to be a few minutes. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you for joining me, and please use EFT. Please feel free to contact me at Frances, FRANCES, at relieveyourmind.com, and we'll do some sessions together. Or you can go to my website, relieveyourmind.com. Thank you so much. So long for now.